All right, today we are jumping into a really classic story of wit and wisdom from the court of Emperor Akbar. Now, on the surface, it might seem like a simple folktale, but trust me, it packs a powerful lesson about how we see people, what identity really means, and where the best ideas, well, where they sometimes come from. So let's just get right to the heart of it. Picture this. Someone hands you a bowl of sugar and sand, and it is mixed together so perfectly that it looks absolutely impossible to separate. Now, what if your life depended on solving that puzzle? Because that is the exact situation one man found himself in, and his solution? Well, it's nothing short of genius. But before we get to that amazing solution, we really need to understand the man himself and the totally incredible, kind of unbelievable circumstances that put him in this life or death spot. See, this story isn't just about a clever trick. It's about a man desperately trying to prove who he is, when all the evidence says he's someone else. So let's rewind a bit. Our hero is Birbal, the famous royal advisor to Emperor Akbar. This is a guy known everywhere for his brilliant mind, right? Not for being some common criminal. So how in the world did he end up being accused of being a thief, with his life literally hanging in the balance? It all kicks off in a forest that's being torn apart by sandalwood thieves. The local tribal chief, a man named Jingala, is at his wit's end. So he sends an urgent message to the great Emperor Akbar for help. And Akbar, being Akbar, confidently promises him, "Don't worry, those thieves will be caught by sundown." So, to make good on his promise, who does the emperor send? He sends his absolute best man, Birbal. So Birbal heads off to the forest with a group of soldiers, probably thinking this is just another problem to solve. But oh boy, fate had some very different plans for him. Things are about to go very, very wrong. It's wild how just a few little things can change everything, right? First, a crazy downpour hits and everyone just scatters. In all the chaos, Birbal snags his kurta on a branch, tearing it to shreds. Then, to make things worse, he slips and takes a nosedive right into a giant mud puddle. By the time he picks himself up, he's totally alone, caked in dirt, and you would not recognize him at all. And this right here is the heart of his problem. On one side, you have the reality. He is a highly respected advisor sent by the emperor to help. But on the other side, you have the perception he's just this disheveled mess who looks exactly like the thieves they're hunting. So of course he gets captured and dragged in front of the chief, his real identity completely buried under a layer of mud and torn clothes. So think about it. There's no one around to say who he is. His appearance is screaming thief. Birbal can't rely on his title or his soldiers. The only thing he has left is his mind. His entire life now comes down to proving just how clever he really is. You can just imagine the scene. When Birbal tries to explain who he is, he's just met with laughter and total disbelief. The chief's words here say it all. From his point of view, it's just absurd. This muddy, torn-up guy claiming to be the famous, brilliant Birbal, it has to be the most ridiculous lie he's ever heard. And you have to understand, the stakes here could not possibly be any higher. In this tribe, if you're caught stealing sandalwood, you don't get a fine or a few nights in jail. The punishment is death. So Birbal isn't just trying to clear his name, he is literally arguing for his life. So the chief, maybe a little intrigued by this guy's crazy claim, offers him one single chance. He basically says, "Okay, you say you're the clever Birbal, prove it." And that's when he gives him the task we started with. Separate this sand from this sugar. If you succeed, maybe we'll believe you. If you fail, well, you're executed as a thief. Now at first, even Birbal is stumped. I mean, you can feel the pressure, the weight of this impossible challenge. But the answer he's looking for isn't some complex machine or brute force. No, it's hidden in plain sight, in the simple, everyday workings of the world right there around him. And this is the turning point. As he's racking his brain, feeling totally hopeless, a single tiny ant crawls on him. A tiny, insignificant little creature, right? But in that 1 second, Birbal has a flash of genius. He realizes the ant isn't a distraction, it's the solution. His method is so simple, it's beautiful. He just asks for a large cloth, spreads the sand and sugar mixture on it, and places it near an anthill. And then he just waits. He lets nature do the hard work. Soon enough, an army of ants marches out, and they diligently carry away every last grain of sugar, leaving behind a perfect pile of just sand.
The entire tribe is just stunned. They just watched a man solve a problem they thought was impossible, using nothing but a keen observation and a little bit of patience. I mean, that feat of pure intelligence is way more convincing than any royal document could ever be. But hold on, the story's not quite over yet.
Talk about perfect timing. Just as the last few grains of sugar are being carried off by the ants, who shows up? Emperor Akbar's soldiers. And guess who they have with them, all tied up? The two real thieves, Fukuchand and Mufachand. So now the chief has undeniable proof. He's seen Birbal's cleverness, and now he sees the actual criminals. The chief, of course, is horrified and deeply sorry, realizing the terrible mistake he almost made. But Birbal, being the wise man he is, doesn't get angry. Instead, he offers this piece of timeless wisdom, which is really the heart of the whole story. It's a lesson for the chief, for the tribe, and really for all of us. So, what's the big takeaway here? It's a simple but really profound idea. The story of the sugar and the sand isn't just about a neat little puzzle. It's a timeless reminder about how dangerous snap judgments can be and how important it is to look past what's on the outside to see the real person within. And that kind of brings us to our final thought. This is an ancient story, but that lesson feels more relevant today than ever before. It really makes you think, doesn't it? In our own lives, how often do we make the exact same mistake the chief did? How often do we let a messy appearance or a first impression blind us to the brilliant person who might be standing right in front of us?